cover in section 11.2, and the first is graphing exponential functions, which we all hear the word graphing and we cringe, but it's not that complicated because you all have calculators that can evaluate things for you. So first and foremost, what does an exponential function look like? So an exponential function is of the form f of x is equal to some number, a we'll call it, to the x power. So what makes it exponential is that it has an x in the exponent. What makes something linear? It has a 1 as the exponent. What makes something quadratic? It has a 2 in the exponent. What makes something cubic? It has a 3 in the exponent. What makes something exponential? It has the variable, in this case it's an x, in the exponent. We do have some restrictions. Our a is going to be greater than 0, and our a is not going to equal 0. Because if it was 0, then nothing would exist. Okay? All right. Everybody got that? Okay, so let's do some graphs. We are going to graph the function f of x equals 2 to the x power. So just like making any other graph, we're going to make a table of values. There's my x, there's my y. I'm going to pick some negatives, I'm going to pick 0, and I'm going to pick some positives. So let's pick some easy negatives, -2, -1, 0, 1, +2. So now we got to think. If we want to do this mentally, I mean your calculator could do this for you. 2 to the -2nd power. Now think about this. If I have 2 to the -2nd, what do I do to make my exponent positive? Send it to the denominator, so it becomes 1 over 2 squared, which would be 1 over 4. So what would be 2 to the -1 power? 1 over 2, or a half. Anything to the 0 power is 1. 2 to the 1 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Okay, so can we plot those points? Hopefully. Let's go over to our lazy graph. -2, -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So -2, 1/4, we'll say, is maybe right about here. -1 to the 1/2, we'll say, is right about here. 0, 1, there's my y-intercept. 1, 2, 2, 4. So it's going to be a curve that goes like that. Okay. So because as my x gets smaller, so as I keep making -3, -4, -5, -6, and so forth, all that's going to do is just going to keep making my number larger in the denominator, which technically makes my number smaller. But will it ever reach 0? No, I'm never going to be able to have it to be 0 because I'm always going to be a 1 in my numerator. So make sure when you make these graphs that your line does not cross over that x-axis. The only time it would is if there was like a whole -1 behind it, which would then shift your whole graph down 1 unit. Okay, so make sure it does not cross. Those are the things I'm going to be looking for. So if we had g of x equals 1/2 to the x, and we had to graph it, making our table of values. Let's use the same digits, -1, or -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. What would be 1/2 to the -2 power? Now think about it. So 1/2 to the -2, make that positive, we would flip the reciprocal, which would be 2 squared, which would be 4. So 1/2 to the -1 would be 2. 1/2 to the 0 will be 1. 1/2 to the 1 is 1/2. 1/2 squared is 1/4. So if we graph that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -2 and +4, puts me right about there. Negative, bless you, -1, +2, 0, bless you, 0, 1, 1.5, 2 and 1/4. Gives me that curve. Okay. So, things I will be looking for when you graph that. Did you graph your y-intercept? Make sure that you show your y-intercept. Which your y-intercept will probably always be 0, 1. Unless there's something other craziness going on. Okay, I'm going to be looking for other points on your graph, and I'm going to be looking to make sure that your line does not cross over. Now, what if we made something that looked like this? What if it was f of x equals 2 to the x plus 1? What would change from our original graph, do you think? Well, let's make our table of values. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Now when I plug in -2 in for x, what's -2 plus 1? So we get 2 to the -1, which would be 1/2. Good. If I do -1 plus 0, or it's -1 plus 1, which is 0, that gets me to the 0, which is 1. When I plug in 0 for x, I get 2 to the 1, which is 2. When I plug in 1, I get 2 squared, which is 4. When I plug in 2, I get 2 to the 3rd, which is 8. So what happened to my y-intercept? Where is my y-intercept now? Before it was at 0, 1, now it's where? At 0, 2. So what happened to my graph? It shifted, right? So if I just plotted it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So plotting those points, so -2 and 1/2, -1, 1, 0, 2, 1, 4, 2, 8, we'll say somewhere way up here. So there's my graph. Okay? So make sure your y-intercept is correct. And your y-intercept will always occur wherever your x is equal to 0. Okay, and then make sure you have points on there and get your curve going there. Questions with graphing? Not too challenging? Hopefully not. All right, so now the next thing we're going to get into, skip all this, don't worry about that, is solving. So solving an exponential function. Without being able to use logarithms quite yet, which that's where we're going to be going, if I wanted to solve just a plain old exponential equation, the first thing I need to have is each side must have the same base. And the problems that we're going to be doing in section 11.2, you will be able to convert them so that they are in the same base. Because if they're not, then you're not going to be able to solve them using this method. We would then be able to solve them using logarithms, but we're not there yet. Okay? So each side must have the same base. If two sides don't have the same base, then we need to express each as a power of the same base. And I'll show you what that looks like when we get there. So each side must have the same base. If two sides don't have the same base, express each as a power of the same base. So we're going to have to do some conversions to make them into the same base. Remember, your base is the number below your exponent. You have your base, you have your power. All right, number 2, you're going to simplify the exponents if necessary. And the only time that you would have to simplify your exponents is if you had to re-express each base, which would then change the power. And then number 3, you're going to set the exponents equal and then number 4, solve the equation obtained in step 3. So once I get my bases the same, then I can just focus on just the exponents, set them equal, and solve. Okay? So sometimes the trickiest part is step 1, trying to recreate like bases. Because once you have that, then we all can solve an easy linear equation. All right. Okay, so let's do some solving of equations. This is the fun stuff. So we've got 9 to the x power equals 27. So my first question is, here I have an exponent, here I have a base, my base is 9. On the right side, I don't have any exponents. I mean, technically, I guess I have an exponent of 1 up here, but my base is 27. Is 27 the same as 9? No, they're not. Is there any way that I can convert 27 so that it has a base of 9? Meaning, can I take 9 to some power and make it 27?
Yes.
Well, 9 to the first is 9. 9 squared is 81. So I've exceeded 27. So that's not going to happen. So I can't convert 27 to a base of 9. So now I need to think, can I convert 9 and 27 into a different base? Such as 3, I'm thinking in my head. 3 to what power is 9? 3 squared. 3 to what power is 27? 3 to the third is 27. So I can make like bases by converting them into 3's. So 9 is the same as 3 squared. Yes.
Charlie?
Yeah.
Could you call into the main office, please?
Sure.
68200. Thank you.